What happens when two cousins, two warriors, collide, not in the ring, but behind the curtain? What happened backstage on Raw just flipped the Bloodline's future upside down. Jey Uso walked into Raw with one goal: keep the peace. But Jacob Fatu? He's not here for peace. He's here to make a statement. And when Jey told him, "This ain't the way," Jacob got in his face and said, "Then step aside or get run over." They weren't just fighting over turf. They were fighting over legacy, betrayal,
pain, pride.
Years of silence turned into one explosive stare-down that almost ended in fists. Almost. But here's the twist. Jey didn't throw the first punch. He just whispered, "You sound just like him," and walked away. No music. No drama. Just that line, and Jacob froze. So, the question is, was he talking about Roman? Or Solo? Hit subscribe because this war? It's just getting started. The WWE Universe expected fireworks inside the ring on Raw, but nobody anticipated the real explosion would happen backstage between two members of the Bloodline. Jacob Fatu and Jey Uso. Cousins by blood. Warriors by choice. Torn apart by a legacy they were both born into, but are now at war over. It started quiet. Too quiet. Jey Uso arrived at the arena with a calm energy. No bounce in his step, no hype. Just eyes locked, straight ahead. He wasn't here for theatrics, he was here to talk. Ever since Jacob Fatu aligned with Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa staked his claim as the new head of the Bloodline, Jey had been pulled into a storm he tried to escape. But there comes a point where running from family feels worse than fighting them. So he came back. Not to throw punches, but to throw down the truth. Jacob Fatu was already there, shirt off, eyes cold, pacing in the hallway like a caged lion. The locker room cleared the moment they realized what was about to go down. Cameras didn't catch the first few seconds. No production crew. No Paul Heyman. Just whispers that Jey had asked to speak with Jacob alone. But in WWE, nothing stays private. Not for long. What followed was a confrontation that shook the very soul of the Bloodline. Jey stepped up and said, "I didn't come here to fight you, yes." Jacob didn't move. Just stared. Silent. Breathing heavy. "I came here to talk. 'Cause what y'all doing, what Solo's doing, it ain't it. This ain't family. This ain't us." Jacob's reply was instant. "Don't talk to me about family, Jey." You walked away from it. Those words sliced through the air like a blade. Jey tilted his head, took a deep breath. "I walked away from the chaos. From the lies. From the manipulation." Jacob stepped forward. "You think I care about your feelings, yes? You think I came to Raw to talk about hurt? I came here to take over." Jey's eyes didn't flinch. Take over what? A broken kingdom? Roman built something. You and Solo burning it to the ground. That's when Jacob snapped. Slammed his hand against a locker, inches from Jey's head. The thud echoed down the corridor. Security flinched. But Jey didn't move. "This ain't your show no more," Jacob growled. "You had your time. You had your moment. Now it's mine." A pause. Jey leaned in close and whispered, "You sound just like him." Silence. Jacob froze. The locker room stood still. For a full 5 seconds, no one breathed. Then Jey turned and walked away. No push. No punch. Just that line hanging in the air like a ghost neither of them wanted to face. Backstage sources said Jacob didn't speak for minutes after Jey left.
He just stood there.
Jaw tight. Fists clenched. Staring at the ground. Because Jey's words had weight. Not just because of what he said, but who he meant. "You sound just like him." Was he talking about Roman Reigns? Or Solo Sikoa? That one sentence created more questions than answers. And it cut deeper than a superkick ever could. See, Jacob Fatu isn't just muscle. He's not just some wild Samoan beast out to dominate Raw. He's a man carrying the pressure of expectations he never asked for. He was brought in to strengthen the new Bloodline, Solo's empire. But deep down, Jacob's not a soldier. He's a lion. And lions don't take orders. Jey's line exposed a crack in Jacob's armor. Because for the first time since his WWE debut, Jacob didn't know how to respond. Was Jey accusing him of becoming Roman, the manipulator who ruled the bloodline with fear and silence? Or was he warning him about Solo, the younger brother who now uses family as a weapon, not a bond? That's the genius of Jey's words. He never clarified. And now, Jacob stuck with the question. Backstage interviews later that night hinted at growing tension within the new bloodline. Solo didn't comment. Heyman was nowhere to be seen. But insiders say Jacob was seen pacing alone for over an hour, refusing to speak to anyone. He missed his post-show segment. Not because of injury, but because he was rattled. And that's what makes Jey Uso dangerous. He doesn't need to swing first to win the fight. He plants seeds that turn men into doubters. He makes warriors question their loyalty. Because Jey's been there. Manipulated.
Betrayed.
Forced to choose between brothers and survive in the shadows of giants. And he knows the game better than anyone. This wasn't just a backstage argument. It was a message. A fracture. A warning that not even Jacob Fatu is immune to emotion. And here's what makes it even more intense. Roman Reigns is watching. Somewhere. Maybe not on screen. But you better believe he heard every word of that conversation. And you better believe he's analyzing it. Because if Jacob Fatu starts questioning the path Solo's leading him down, then the new bloodline isn't a unit. It's a time bomb.
Ticking.
Jey Uso didn't come back to Raw for a match. He came back to light a fuse. And it worked. Now the WWE Universe waits. What happens next? Does Jacob confront Solo? Does he start to rebel? Or does he double down, crush Jey, and prove his loyalty? There's a reason Jey left without throwing a punch. He didn't come to fight with fists. He came to fight with truth. And sometimes, truth hurts more than a superkick.
Stay tuned.
Because next week, the fuse Jey lit might explode. And if it does, it won't just destroy a faction. It could tear the entire family apart. Want the rest? Say go, and I'll continue with the fallout, Solo's reaction, and how Roman Reigns plays into it. That night, as Monday Night Raw came to a close, Solo Sikoa was seen in his private locker room, silent, watching a replay of the backstage confrontation. He didn't flinch, didn't blink, just stared, like a man watching a storm creep in from the edge of the horizon. He saw the moment Jacob slammed the locker, saw the way Jey leaned in and whispered, "You sound just like him." And that's when Solo smiled. Not a smile of joy. A smile of control. Of calculation. He knew what Jey was doing. And he knew it might work. Solo's rise to power hasn't been clean. It's been ruthless. Tactical. He inherited the bloodline after Roman vanished, and in Roman's absence, Solo built his own version. One with fewer rules, colder alliances, and no room for doubt. Jacob Fatu was supposed to be his crown jewel. His unstoppable weapon. But now, after one conversation with Jey, that weapon was hesitating. And Solo couldn't afford hesitation. Later that night,